Game 2 of this doubleheader between the now 3-0 Tampa Spartans and the 3-3 Alabama Huntsville Chargers underway now as Mariah Galehouse throws a first pitch ball to the leadoff batter, Lauren Hayes. It was a 4-3 victory in Game 1 that started right around 4 p.m. Tampa pulled away with a go-ahead sacrifice fly in the bottom of the 6th, and Gwen McGinnis shut it down in her 3rd inning of relief to hold on to the win. I'm Shane Patagna, joined alongside Taylor Stolworthy as the count now 1-1 to Lauren Hayes.
Yeah, it's a 6-game weekend for the Spartans, and always good to start with a win, especially in a close fight like that was.
Hayes ahead in the count now 2-1 in Game 1. She was 1 for 3 with a strikeout and dropped down a sac bunt. So Galehouse drops in a changeup there to even the count at 2-2. That pitch is her best pitch, and Galehouse serves as a 3rd pitcher today for the Spartans. Right back at her, fielded on a hop, throw on to first. That's Solt there, 1 away. Defensively for the Spartans, not too many changes, although 1 in order due to Galehouse moving from right field in Game 1 to the circle now. Her battery mate is Kenna Kreidler. At 3rd base is Alexa Russo. Shortstop McKenna DiMartino. 2nd base Kenzie Reynolds. And 1st base, recording the putout there, was Abby Solt. As the first pitch to Kinley Adams is a ball. Left to right in the outfield, it's Lauren Fantone, Lily Keister, and Devin Hammonds serving as a defensive-only player here in Game 2. Second offering can't be caught. Count 2-0. Adams halfway there to a walk, as she had 1 in Game 1. Went 0 for 2 in her 2 other plate appearances. And to the chagrin of the visiting crowd, that's called strike 1.
There's a very good visiting contingent for the Chargers fans. You know, they're going to be down in Florida all weekend. May as well make this a fun little vacation.
Another hook swung over the top of by Adams, and yeah, this fan base is prepared. I see some Hawaiian shirts among the crowd in blue along the first base bleachers. This one fought off to keep it a 2-strike count. Kate DeSimone made her first start in Game 1, but received a no decision. This one grounded the shortstop DiMartino quickly on to first for the 2nd out. The entire infield playing in that time, and they were ready for a weak grounder.
That was a really nice throw from short to get the ball to first pretty quickly. Had plenty of time to beat the runner, but you don't want to risk it.
Wasn't a rushed play, but certainly a sense of urgency to have the rhythm to make that out. Now it's Jada Henderson, the catcher for UAH, drove in 2 on a game-tying 2 RBI single in the 5th inning in Game 1. Another on to DiMartino, fielded, and 3 up, 3 down for Galehouse. All ground outs from the Spartans' 2-way player. The offense will try to get her a lead in the bottom half of the 1st here on TampaSpartans.tv. University of Tampa Spartans offense will come to bat here, trying to give their pitcher Mariah Galehouse a lead. They will be trying to do it against the starter Megan Schertz. And Taylor, you have her season to date.
Yeah, so far, Schertz has had 3 starts, 4 appearances, and an 8.40 ERA. But hey, it's very early on. A lot of the pitching stats really don't matter until you're halfway through the season and you have a ton of innings under the belt. And we'll see if Schertz gets a little better BABIP luck this time, too. 392 allowed batting average in the season, which indicates that there's probably a few bloopers hit her way, too.
Count even at 1-1, though. A lot of weight on her shoulders and the rest of this pitching staff as the Chargers used their ace for all of Game 1. Katie Bracken going over 100 pitches in that one. Grounded right back to the pitcher, and just as the top of the first started, it's a 1-3 putout, and the leadoff batter is put away.
That was a very good out to get there in the circle. Not an easy play to field, but nonetheless, a play you still do need to make.
So that quickly brings up Lily Keister after Lauren Fantone is retired. 1 for 2 with a walk and a run scored in that 4-3 win just about 30 minutes ago. 35 now. First pitch, ball missed outside. Slap attempt, fouled back and out of play above the third base bleachers. The first time this season that the Spartans are playing under the lights here at Name Only Family Stadium. As the sun setting here in Tampa, Florida. Called strike on the outside corner. The umpires have flipped from Game 1. So it is now Kevin Jack behind the plate and Tyrone Miller out in the field, standing in foul ground behind the first base bag right now. The 1-2 from Schertz, taken inside, ball 2.
Schertz getting a good start against the Spartans would certainly be useful. Tampa's offense has been somewhat quiet today, and I know now that they don't have to face Bracken, they'd love to get to work early. If she could start them off slow, I think it would keep Tampa in this rough rhythm that the Chargers are hoping to keep the Spartans stuck in.
This one slapped down the line, fair ball, though the defense had her played that way. Even with the left-hander, Sladen guarding the line will hold number 3 in red to a base hit.
I want to mention, great fielding by Slayton out in left field. She does a good job of getting down on front and on top of the ball to not let it get past her. You don't normally see outfielders that are able to really do that. Sort of almost infield style defending in the outfield.
So that brings up the starting pitcher in this contest, Mariah Galehouse, as she takes a ball in the dirt, 1-0.
This is why we call her our team's Otani, a two-way player out in right field and in the circle.
Now, Tampa as a team still warming up through the 3 games. Really haven't broken out offensively, but they have been putting more runs on the board consistently. 2 in the first game, 3 in the second, and scored 4 earlier this afternoon. 2-0 the count now to Galehouse. And she's another player really that needs to pick it up, especially being in that 3 hole, and we're certain she will. But 0-4-7 to start this season. But ahead in the count here, 3-0.
For Galehouse, it'll be a matter of when, not if it turns around.
And time is called for a players-only meeting in the circle. Head coach for UAH, Les Studeman, showed in Game 1 that she had an incredible sense of urgency to try and win both of these games here in this doubleheader, as Tampa and the Chargers have really started somewhat of a rivalry these last 3 seasons. Early in Game 1 was trying to sack bunt any base runner over to score a run and take an early lead, and now these players with a runner on and now threatening to have 2, trying to calm their pitcher down and limit the damage. The 3-0, Galehouse taking all the way and takes ball 4. So that'll set up 2 runners for the Spartans, and that'll bring up the ever dangerous Abby Solt. She's a player where if you weren't familiar with her work as a member of Valdosta State, she let everyone know last game a 3-run, no doubt home run over the left field fence that put the Spartans ahead 3-1 in her second at bat against the power pitcher, Katie Bracken, and now she's ahead 1-0.
That was a huge at-bat there for Solt. You know, it's not easy to hit it over the Spartans' home run ballpark. It is something we rarely see the Spartans that are able to do. They usually get their home runs on their road series just because of how tough of a stadium this is for home run hits.
And it looked like that was a back pick attempt by the catcher Henderson, though not on the same page with Schertz. Almost stuck her glove out in self-defense there as that throw whizzed past her head. Kieser is getting a big secondary lead, though. So Henderson had a reason to try and steal an out, but the count now 2-1 to Solt. Taken on the inside corner.
If you're Schertz, you really needed that strike. You don't want to fall behind 3-1 again after a 4-pitch walk.
Nowhere to put Solt. Pressure on already here in the bottom of the first of a scoreless game. Popped up on the infield. It's the first baseman, Cartron, calling everyone off, and she makes the squeeze for the second out. So Schertz able to get in on the hands of Solt for a huge second out. So that'll be the Spartans catcher, Kenna Kreidler. In game 1, went 0 for 1, but drew 2 walks. And that's been the theme this season through the first 3 games, as that one is taken for a ball. Already 4 walks drawn in 3 games. And her at-bats, she hasn't had many of them, 1 for 4. The 1-0 from Schertz. Hit hard on the ground, but right at the third baseman. On to first. That's Douthit to Cartron, and that'll retire the side. So the Spartans strand 2 as this game remains scoreless through 1. You're watching the SSC Digital Network. No score in game 2 of this scheduled doubleheader. Mariah Galehouse just now taking the circle for warm-ups here. Although it's 2 zeros in the score column, in the run column on the scoreboard. Advantage Tampa so far in this contest as they were able to push across 2 base runners last inning, but with runners on first and second and 1 out, the 4 and 5 batter couldn't push either across or advance them past those spots.
You know, Shane, it's not all about the hits because Tampa got out hit by Alabama Huntsville last time. but did just enough with the hits they did get to secure the W.
Yeah, Katie Bracken was really not allowing balls in play. It was a lot of walks, but also a lot of strikeouts in that game one where she wound up being the losing pitcher of record. So now it's Maddie Cartron, who had a huge game one, but will just trickle one to the pitcher Galehouse, who makes a routine throw for the first out. And that's a good way to start because Cartron reached all 3 times in game one. Her first 2 at-bats were 2 doubles off the center field wall, or at least over the head of center fielder Lily Keister, and then was hit by a pitch her 3rd time up. But with her retired, that brings up Sadie Thompson. Went 0 for 1 with 2 sacrifice hits in game one.
You know, getting the sacrifice hits is super underrated. It is difficult to do when you're able to lay down the bunt and advance the runner. It doesn't always yield a good result, but, when you struggle, when you aren't able to get that bunt down cleanly, it's a big weakness for the team. It puts you in a really rough position.
As Galehouse gets herself back in to make it a 2-1 count. Thompson can swing it. She entered today with a .294 batting average through the team's first 5 games. As this one's trickled foul, fielded by Russo on the grass.
Russo's had a pretty busy day at third base, has had a couple of difficult plays to make. Same is true for Alabama Huntsville and Douthit.
2-2 fastball taken outside, and it'll make the count full. Thompson's batting average slightly lower than .294 after going 0 for 1 in game one, but still a very respectable start to the season. The payoff pitch from Galehouse, off speed, right back at her, and Groundhog Day was Sunday, but a lot of recurring events already for her. That's the 3rd putout, or defensive assist rather, for Galehouse. And we're just 5 outs into her outing.
There are very few pitchers in D2 baseball that can really be eligible for a Gold Glove at 2 different positions. Galehouse is one of them.
She can do it all. It's very difficult to list something on the softball diamond that she can't do.
For this season, it's getting base hits, unfortunately. But also, I have a feeling by the time that they come back home after next weekend,
As this
that'll...
one grounded up the middle for a base hit. It's the first of the night against Galehouse, and first of the night here in this game too, as you were saying.
Yeah, I think Galehouse will resolve that weakness by the time next weekend or the end of this weekend rolls along. She has plenty of chances over the next couple days. And, of course, still tonight.
So that was a 2-out hit for Sydney Harris, and that'll bring up the 7-hitter, Kylie Smith. Down in the count now, 0-1. Now in the hole, 0-2. 1 for 3, drove in a run, and struck out a time earlier this afternoon. Galehouse way ahead. Goes with the fastball that misses below the knees. Grounded to Russo. Steps, throws, fires on to first, and that'll retire the side. So 1 stranded. The Chargers match Tampa in the hit column, but still no score here at Name Only Family Stadium. We've played 1.5. Bottom of the second, about to get underway. No score between the UAH Chargers and the number 10 Tampa Spartans. 6, 7, 8 due up. Alexa Russo about to step in, followed by Kelsey Winters and Mackenzie DiMartino. Megan Schertz back in the circle for a second inning of work. As this first pitch is popped up in foul ground, should be playable for Cartron, and it is caught for the first out. And also during that play, a squirrel crawled up the netting behind home plate. Not sure if that was in the shot, but seemed to have gone away for now. So 1 pitch, 1 out. It's now Winters at the dish. Takes ball 1 just outside the zone.
Winters had a good performance earlier today. Was able to deliver a clutch base hit early on at the start of the game. And if I'm not mistaken, did she get the game-winning RBI at the end? Yes, she did. Sacrifice fly.
This one flied, but will be out of play. Rebounds in off the netting and caught by Cartron, but it's just a strike. Yeah, that sacrifice fly that scored the pinch runner, Daisy Watterson, who made her Spartans debut today in that pinch running appearance. 1-1 the count. Fastball from Schertz taken high. Hit well, but coming in is the center fielder Thompson, and will make the one-handed grab for the second out. Winters certainly got under that ball there. We're still waiting for her to make her pitching debut for Tampa after spending 2 seasons playing some Power 5 softball at Iowa in the Big Ten Conference. It's the first pitch to the freshman shortstop is a ball. Fouled off the mask of the catcher Henderson, 1-1. So last game, McKenna DiMartino was held in check. It was just her 3rd start as a Spartan and as a college softball player, but was held hitless for the first time, and it was her first multi-strikeout game. Hit weakly onto the shortstop Smith. Has got to hurry, and does. That throws in time, and Schertz pitches a clean second inning, faces the minimum, and keeps this game tied after 2. You're watching TampaSpartans.tv. Alexa Douthit stepping into the box. 8-9-1 to start the top of the 3rd inning here in this scoreless contest on a Thursday night in Tampa. Clear skies.
To the left field, you can kind of see a nice sunset. Don't think it's visible on our camera, sadly.
This changeup misses low. This doubleheader kicked off at 4 p.m. Tap to the shortstop. It's another opportunity for DiMartino, who makes the play. This game so far, if you're a fan of infield defense, it's the game for you. I was going to make a comment about pace, but the superstitious nature of myself stopped me from doing that.
Yeah. I will say it's always funny. When you say something, it'll usually get jinxed like a minute later whenever you're saying, oh, Galehouse is in the middle of a no-hit bid through 3 innings, and there's a bloop single into right.
A bunt for a base hit attempt, fouled back. This is the 9-batter now, Brittany Sladen. She's shown some good defense and left field through both games today and had a hit and scored a run in game 1. She also showed some great base running, made a great read on that Jada Henderson 2 RBI single that really she was the reason that run scored all on her own. Eats up DiMartino a little bit, and that'll result in a base hit. DiMartino was playing the hops on that chopper, but played too many of them, and it ate her up near the second base bag. And once that happened, she was going to have no chance. Sladen on with an infield hit. So that turns the lineup over.
That's unfortunate there for Galehouse and the Spartans. You know, you have the ground out possible.
Runner goes, throwing a second on a hop, not in time. Sladen steals a base. The Chargers have done that a fair amount this season. That's her second on as many attempts. Shows bunt there, but can't pull it back. 1-1. Jada Henderson and Lauren Hayes 1 for 1 this season. 2 other players have been caught stealing, so that makes them 4 for 6 on the year. Grounded to the right side. Reynolds quickly on to Solt at first. That's the second out, but it's a productive out as Sladen moves to third.
You'd very much rather a productive out happen with 0 away to have this as a potential sacrifice scoring opportunity. But, you know, you do get the runner advancing, and any base hit from Adams here would give the Chargers the early lead. And that is how they got on the board early last time out.
And probably no base runner they'd rather have at third base than Sladen. Ball low, 1-1. Through both games today has made a ton of plays that wouldn't show up on the stat sheet. The back pick attempt, Russo has to lay out just to keep that ball in the infield. And Sladen is able to slide back in. So the Tampa defense certainly has taken notice of her ability on the bases. And Galehouse pulls the string on Adams to make it 2-2. So 2's all around. Number 2 batting in a 2-2 count with 2 outs in the second. Waves and miss, strike 3, and that'll end the frame. Rather, this ends the top of the third inning. Galehouse keeps the Chargers off the board. 9 then top due up for the Tampa Spartans as they'll go against Megan Schertz here in the bottom of the third inning.
Schertz has had a good start today, and against a tough Tampa team like this one, you need to get the early outs and get out of the early jams, and she's done just that.
Reynolds was 0 for 2 in game 1 as this one's fouled, but will go out of play for strike 1. Was struck out twice by the Chargers starter Katie Bracken, who we do not imagine we'll see here in game 2. Another one off the end of the bat, fouled out of play. Schertz calls time as Henderson, the Chargers dugout, can't agree on what pitch to come with here. Way ahead in the count. Picked a good one there, though. Some glove side action on that pitch to get Reynolds chasing. It's a strikeout and the first out of the bottom of the third. So maybe perhaps unexpectedly, Tampa finding no success against a pitcher that is definitely not the ace of this staff.
There's a saying that's why they play the game, and also it kind of reinforces the idea that you really just can't take the first 2 starts of the season as gospel. Because, again, Schertz is not an 8.40 ERA pitcher. Over the course of the season, it's going to go down to a stronger number. And a game like today is certainly something that'll help that get lower.
So it's the second time through for the batting order. It's Lauren Fantone. Now grounds one up the middle, but fielded by Hayes. Throw on the run across her body in plenty of time. A strong athletic play by Lauren Hayes, the second baseman for every inning today. So now it's the number 2 batter, Lily Keister, up with 2 outs. As a slap hitter watches a pitch there on the outside corner for strike 1. She's the only player so far that has figured out Schertz. A base hit in the first, but was stranded at second base. Grounded up the middle off the glove of Schertz and then Hayes. Neither of them can field it cleanly, and it's another hit for Lily Keister.
It hasn't been easy in this game, too, for the Spartans to beat the Chargers infield. But both those times, the bobbles from Smith and Hayes have opened the door for Keister.
As now it's Gail House who drew a walk against Schertz in the first inning, and I'll correct myself, it's ruled an error by the official score. But for Tampa just trying to get a lead here, they don't care how Keister got on. It's just, it matters that she is on. As she runs now, throw on the hop, gets away into center field, and she'll move to third. Head coach Leslie Canner holds her up there. And now, no time better than the present for Mariah Galehouse to have her first hit of 2025. A 1-1 pitch here. Gets away. Keister coming home. There won't be a throw, and Tampa takes a 1-0 lead. So Lily Keister manufactures this first run all on her own once she reached on that error.
That's just heads up base running from Keister. And I think for Henderson, it's just maybe she got sort of in a bit of a bad rhythm those last two plays. Let errant throw to second, and then maybe wasn't fully focused on the next offering, and it just gets by her for the wild pitch.
So an unearned run for Shirts as the count now 3-1. And really before that wild pitch was pitching a very good game. This one lined hard into center field. That drops in for a base hit. A diving try to stop it will fail. Galehouse around second, heads for third, stumbles a little bit. She's going to try for the whole thing. Stumbles a little bit more, so does the umpire. And she'll have to retreat back to third base. As that's home plate umpire Kevin Jack, helped up by Abby Solt. And that had a little bit of a Randy Rosarena in the 2020 World Series.
Yeah, sort of slipped coming off the turn for three. I mean, even as a senior who has seen so many bats for the Spartans, you don't get too many chances at an inside the park home run. So a little bit of extra excitement caused a slip. But hey, I don't think Yahas is complaining about her first hit of the season being a massive triple.
3 different people on the field fell on that play. First, it was the center fielder, Thompson. And then I'm not sure which happened first. I think the home plate umpire fell first, and he's pointing to something over in foul ground. It seemed as though Galehouse got tripped up on the part of the third base line in foul ground where, for whatever reason, it's a patch of much lighter colored dirt than the clay on the rest of the infield. I'm not sure why that's there or if that's really what tripped her up, but
I mean, you've also had experience in the field for intramurals, probably rounding third. That could kind of mess someone up. Has it messed anyone up in your intramural games?
Not that I saw. As Solt cranks one. It has the distance, but well foul. Could have been her second in as many games. That would have blown this contest open. But no, in my intramural softball experience on this field, I have not seen anyone take a dive on that part of the field.
It's a good thing because it looks like it would hurt if that happened.
It's an 0-1. And Shirts tries to go outside, but misses by a good portion into the left-handed batter's box. Pitchers have to tread lightly when facing Abby Solt. Time is called as I think that foul ball from Solt was thrown back on to the field. It's given back to Kevin Jack behind home, and play will resume here. Big swing and a miss from Solt. Count 1-2.
Solt crushed a fastball earlier on from Bracken, and then I think crushed a fastball from Shirts in foul territory. So good idea to slow things down and got a big whiff.
Solt clearly a sit dead red type of hitter. This one hit to the shortstop. Smith on a hop. Throw over to first. Will be in time to retire the side. But Tampa takes the lead thanks to the base running of Lily Keister. Gives the pitcher Galehouse a lead. She'll be back in the circle for the fourth after this short break. Mariah Galehouse nearly had an inside the park home run last inning. Settled for a triple, but could not come to score. Although I don't think she'll care too much as she can now pitch with a lead. Just a one-run lead, but a lead nonetheless. Here in the top of the fourth, she'll face the heart of the Chargers order. 3-4-5, starting with the catcher, Jada Henderson. First offering, misses low and in. Henderson grounded out to the shortstop, McKenna DiMartino, in her first time up. Galehouse pulls the string and gets the call. 1-1 now the count after that changeup.
That's just the specialty of Galehouse, just that ridiculous changeup. It is so effective and so slow at the same time.
And pours another one in there, and even from up here in the booth, you can see the lack of spin on the pitch. I can see the seams from here. Let's go with here. Another one triples up, and Henderson ready for it, fights it off, and pulls it well foul down the left field line.
And when it kind of works, almost like a knuckle change, if that combination even exists. It's just so lethal because it's just even harder to read.
Over the head of DiMartino into the left center field gap. Keister cuts it off. Henderson with a wide turnaround first, but will go back for a leadoff single.
You got to feel for DiMartino there. You need someone like Stephanie Ballmer's height to make a very tough play like that. And most shortstops don't have the height that Ballmer had. But, it was a very good effort, and Keister did a great job of making sure there was no extra base hit.
Yeah, DiMartino stands just at 5'6". Nothing she could do on that play. Another one into center field, drops in for a hit. Keister can't field it cleanly. Henderson stands at second, and on back-to-back pitches, the Chargers have something brewing here in the top of the fourth.
That's exactly what they need. They're trailing by one, and just to get just a little bit of offense going, that can be a huge difference maker in this game. Looking at the corners, though, as they bring them in, I have a feeling we're going to see a sacrifice.
Yeah, and that was Cartron on the hit there. Her third of the day. It was a sac bunt attempt. The batter, Sadie Thompson, didn't like it, but the home plate umpire, Kevin Jack, did.
Not surprised that they let Cartron swing away because she has been on fire today.
Yes, she has. As that pitch taken up. It's 1-1. Off-speed pitch grounded up the middle. That's a base hit. The runners will be held up. So station to station. And it's bases loaded. Nobody out. The Chargers have had their best scoring opportunity of the day between either game right here.
Yeah, I mean, this is generally a good thing whenever you can get the bases loaded, but here with 0 outs, there's potential for a huge inning. Spartans defense will have to be ready.
So, Sydney Harris, the batter, here. Batting right this time around. Count moves to 1-1. She singled the first time up as one of 5 hits the Chargers have now against Galehouse. Ball misses low. Henderson, the runner, at third. Cartron at second. And Thompson at first. Chargers down 1-0. Pitch on the black, 2-2.
That's crucial for Galehouse. Going behind 3-1 with the bases loaded is very rough. So to just get that second strike is crucial there.
She comes home here. Flied into right. Hammonds makes the catch. Henderson coming home. The throw is cut off as Henderson slides in safely. It's a tie game. And on the play, Cartron is able to advance to third.
Yeah, that's not what Galehouse was hoping for, but, you do get the first out of the inning, and notably, because it was hit towards the right field, the first base runner couldn't make their way to second. If it was hit down the left field line, you have more of a chance of that play happening.
Yeah, Hammonds came up firing right away, threw it into the cutoff insult at first, but not quick enough of a transfer and an operation to try and nab Cartron taking the extra base. So runners on the corners for Smith here. A tie game with one out in the top of the fourth.
I wouldn't be surprised if you wanted to try to go with a double steal here with Thompson. As Creedler, you really are taking a risk if you send the ball to second in that situation like that.
That pitch fouled to the backstop, and Thompson is getting active off of the first base bag after every pitch, although trying to draw a throw of some sort. Wouldn't say, though, that was a straight steal attempt right there. Nothing really doing there as that pitch misses low. 2-1. So Galehouse, who was extremely efficient in her first start of the season on Sunday. Pitch count going up a little bit here. That pitch fouled straight down, 2-2. She had 78 pitches total in her complete game in Game 2 against Georgia Southwestern, 58 of which were strikes. Now already through 3 1/3, 54 pitches. Put in play, Russo checks the runner back, throws on to first. That's the second out. Thompson able to advance into scoring position on the play.
That's a good out for the Chargers. Keeps the runner in scoring position. Because Russo had a check on the runner at third, didn't have time to try a double play there. And also, if you try the double play there, the runner from third can make it home easily.
Grounded up the middle, off the shin, right to DiMartino. Pinballs a little bit, but it's in the favor of the Spartans. They prevent the Chargers from putting up a crooked number after having the bases loaded and nobody out. And if you'd ask the Spartans, they'll take that as a win. But Chargers tie it up at 1. We're halfway done through this one on the SSC Digital Network. The Spartans looking to answer here after they took the lead in the bottom of the third inning, 1-0. The UAH Chargers responded immediately with a run of their own. So now we stand tied here at the bottom of the fourth at Name Moley Family Stadium. Kenna Kryler is the batter, who takes a first pitch low. She grounded out to third. Her first time up in this Game 2 of a scheduled doubleheader. That fastball catches the inside corner. The 1-1. Taken high. Schertz, the starter for the Chargers. Back for her 4th inning of work. Just 2 hits allowed. 1 unearned run surrendered. As Kreidler waves and misses, it's 2-2. A cutter misses out, and that'll move the count full.
Good job to battle and work a full count. Kreidler was one of the best players in the Spartans last year, and glad to see her stepping up already as the new catcher.
Hit hard, but right at the third baseman. Douthit on a Cartron for the first out. And now that Schertz has gone 3 1/3 here. It's her second longest outing of the season. This is her 5th overall as the first pitch to Russo, skied into shallow center. Thompson makes the two-handed grab for the second out. So besides a bit of a rough third inning where that run came in after Lily Keister reached on error and then stole second base, advanced to third on an error, and then scored on a wild pitch. Mariah Galehouse followed up with a triple that could have been an inside the park home run. Besides that, Schertz has looked very good in the circle.
Definitely a huge recovery, and you need to be at your best when you're facing the Spartans. She's done just that.
1-1 the count now to the number 7 batter, Kelsey Winters. Winters flew out to center field in the second inning in her lone at-bat in this game. Pops one up to the right side, but that'll land in the Chargers bullpen. Where there is some movement, they have someone in catcher's gear, but the way that Name-Only Family Stadium is configured and how high this press box is, can't see over the first base dugout that sits off screen. Hit well into center field, but right at Thompson, who makes a one-handed grab to retire the side. It's a perfect bottom of the 4th as the Chargers get a much-needed shutdown inning. We're tied at 1 after 4 on TampaSpartans.tv. One, 2-1 after 4 here at Name-Only Family Stadium, where it's the second game of a scheduled doubleheader between the Alabama Huntsville Chargers and the number 10 Tampa Spartans. 9 then top due up for the Chargers as Sladen drops a bunt just in fair territory. Kenzie Reynolds coming over to cover, corrals it into her body for the first out.
What a play behind home plate. Whenever you bunt for a hit, you cause a lot of chaos. But Kreidler, calm as you like, fires the throw right past the runner, and a nice catch by the second base player Reynolds, who had to cover the bag.
I mean, a little bit of bad luck for Slayton, who's a tremendous base runner and tremendously fast. As another bunt for a base hit attempt shown here, but taken for a ball by Lauren Hayes. But that ball off the bat, perfectly placed, but it just died and allowed Kryler to pick it up in rhythm and make the throw. Now slapped onto DiMartino at short, on to first for the second out. So 3 pitches for 2 outs here for Galehausen, kind of playing into her hand, as she hasn't been as efficient today as she was on Sunday in her complete game victory over Georgia Southwestern, although now at 63 pitches through 4 2/3. Not that she's been overworked so far.
Yeah, definitely not a Maddox type of performance today, like the 78 pitch outing for the complete game, but it's been an efficient 60 or so pitches.
Punch the other way. This one, the Russo, and it's dropped on the transfer by the first baseman, Solt. So will stand as the third out. It's a very quick top of the 5th. Still tied 1-1. Bottom of the 5th. The Tampa Spartans will send up freshman shortstop Mackenzie DiMartino to lead off this frame. The 5th inning of work for Megan Schertz in the circle. First pitch swinging, pops up into right center field. Thompson ranging over and makes the catch for the first out. So the ambush tactic very present here in the 5th inning. And we'll have a pinch hitter in the place of Kenzie Reynolds in the 9 slot. It's number 5, Olivia Feldman, a sophomore infielder from Lithia, Florida.
Good to see Feldman get a chance here to try to succeed. It's her first at-bat of the season.
First pitch to her, check down. She did not go.
You hear the O's from the crowd. Chargers fans thought that was strike one clear as day.
I don't believe she saw any action last season. This time, low and away. Sorry, she was hiding on the stat sheet. She did see some action. 7 games last season. Was 1 for 5. Hit the other way. Off the glove of Cartron. Racing to first. Hayes over. Is in time. So a 3-4 putout. A heads-up play by Hayes. Steals what would have been a base hit from Feldman.
Great hustle by Feldman, capitalizing off the bounce off of Cartron, but just recovered in time to beat the runner by a step.
Thought for sure once it caromed off the glove of Cartron towards the field of play, or really fair ground. Thought it had base hit written all over it, just like that one. An opposite field hit for Lauren Fantone. So 1 on, 2 outs. The Chargers not out of the woods yet. As was the same situation that Tampa was able to scratch across the first run of the ball game in the bottom of the third. Lily Keister's had a good game. She hits that one right at the third base dugout.
There is, I think, a little fence in front of the dugouts, but still very scary when it's headed towards you like that.
But Keister, a single and a reach on air where she scored that first run. She stole a base in that trip around. Second offering, not close. Misses low and away to make the count 1-1. Schertz comes home, pours one down Broadway, 1-2. Fantone, the runner on first. The 1-2 pitch. Tapped, foul. Past third base. Lily Keister loves to go the opposite way, but defense playing her pretty straight up. Although Slade and the left fielder guarding that line. Misses out 2-2. The outfield has her shifted not to pull, but the infield, one of the more straight up defenses that we've seen for Keister.
Notably, though, look at Slayton right on that left field line.
Swung on and missed, strike 3, and that'll end the inning. So Schertz matches zeros with Galehouse in the 5th. The Chargers trying to pull an upset here and split this doubleheader. So Kenzie Reynolds will re-enter at second base after Olivia Feldman pinch hit for her in the previous frame. Feldman grounded into a bit of an unusual 3-4 putout. First pitch from Galehouse here in the 6th. Check down to first. It's called a ball. This is Jada Henderson up at the dish. Henderson 1 for 2. Singled her last time up as this one fouled to the backstop. For the Chargers, 1 run on 5 hits with 2 errors committed for Tampa. 1 run on 3 hits, no errors. The 1-1 from Galehouse. Change up. Henderson thought about it, but wisely chose not to pull the trigger. Galehouse comes home. Fastball this time, right at the knees. 2-2. Galehouse threw 5+ innings pitched, 5 hits allowed, 1 run, which was earned, has walked none and struck out 1. This one fouled into the netting above the first base dugout, and we'll do it all again. Another 2-2, and another one fouled above the first base dugout.
This Chargers team does a great job of staying alive. They've only had 1 strikeout today against Galehouse. Kind of surprising because Galehouse is usually good at getting strikeouts.
Although it was kind of the similar deal in her first outing. This one fouled the other way, down the left field line. Out of the 21 outs she recorded on Sunday, only one of them was via the punch-out. And just one again today. Another 2-2. Ground to the right side. Reynolds sits back. Fields throws in time for the out. And by all means, Galehouse, pretty much a power pitcher. Last season, 94 strikeouts and 125 innings pitched. Does not allow free passes, though we knew that. 9 walks total surrendered last season.
I still really can't get just how strong of a stat is. I mean, under 10 walks in 125 innings. That's just unbelievable.
Yeah, if you can strike out 10 batters to every batter walked, that's elite.
Ridiculous.
Chopper. DiMartino has to play it back, and a bad hop will result in a single.
That's the curse of the dirt at the Namoli Family Stadium. You got to feel for DiMartino. She played that pretty much perfectly, but just the weight completely evaporated out of the ball on that bounce.
And everything coming up aces for Maddie Cartron. Her second hit in this game, 4th today. She reached all 3 times in game 1, but she'll be pinch ran for here.
You know, it's always good to use pinch runners here because you get to make the changes back if you want to at the start of the next inning.
Yeah, no harm here, and it makes sense in the late stages of this game. Another time through the order not guaranteed for the Chargers.
It is a tied game, but as you mentioned...
Right back to Galehouse. On to second is DiMartino on the hop. Safe. So, won't be an inning-ending double play. Galehouse to DiMartino, who was right at the bag already as she turned to throw. That was the pinch runner, Gracie Ashley retired at second base. And now Sadie Thompson is on first. Grounded to DiMartino, another opportunity. She'll go the short way on to Reynolds in time for the final out.
Good recovery after missing that ground ball earlier. Almost converts the double play, but does end the inning.
Yeah. The softball kept finding her in that frame. DiMartino responded to the challenge. Through 6.5, still a tie game at 1-1. You're watching Tampa Spartans.tv. If Tampa can cash in here, it would set up a chance to win in the top of the 7th. But that's a big if. It's tied 1-1 here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Tampa does have the heart of the order here. Galehouse, Solt, and Creedler.
First pitch in the dirt. 1-0. Galehouse has reached both times against Schertz. A walk in the first and a triple in the third. She rounded third hard and was heading for home, but stumbled about halfway and retreated back to the third base bag. That pitch, another one inside, misses for ball 2. And now, at this point in the game, that's a huge moment, as it could have been a second run for Tampa that right now would be putting them 3 outs away from a sweep here in this scheduled doubleheader.
Just getting a base runner here could be huge for the Spartans. Just put the pressure on the Chargers infield and for the circle for Schertz, too.
Galehouse never really seemed to want any part of that pitch. That is a called strike on the inside. Schertz comes home. Off-speed pitch misses low and away. 3-1. So that was Galehouse's first hit of the season in her last trip to the plate. But she's been productive, has 2 walks already before today, and has her third free pass. That came in the first inning, and she fouls that pitch off to make it a full count. A big pitch coming up here. Schertz checks the wrist for the sign. Gets the grip on the ball and comes home. Swung on a miss, strike 3. Probably got Galehouse to chase ball 4 on what looked like to be a changeup or a sinker. Low and inside.
Chargers fans loved that one. And that's an important out to get. I mean, even though now you still have to worry about Solt and Creedler, it's a lot easier when those players aren't on base or don't have people on base.
So that's Abby Solt now, who hits one high and deep to left field. Ranging over is Slayton, who makes the catch in foul ground. I thought that one had a little bit more pop on it. But I think with some of the balls that Solt has hit today, she's earned herself the benefit of the doubt. Had a home run, a 3-run shot in game 1, and then had one that left the yard earlier in this game, but it was foul. So 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. It's the number 5 batter, Kenna Kreidler.
That power, though, from Solt is going to be something to watch all season long.
It certainly had the launch angle, just not the exit velocity to try and do anything with it, but would have been a foul ball anyway. Count moves to 2-0 here to Kreidler. Schertz has pitched well today, but has sometimes found it hard to get that third and final out. Lined right at the shortstop, Smith, and that'll send us to the 7th inning, tied. A perfect frame from Schertz against the heart of this Spartans order. They'll try and take the lead in the 7th after this. Mariah Galehouse back in the circle for her 7th inning of this start, but it's not guaranteed to be a complete game for her. The score is tied at 1-1. The visiting Alabama Huntsville Chargers have played the Spartans tight all day long. They lost 4-3 in game 1. They were tied entering the bottom of the 6th of that game. And it is tied here in the top of the 7th. First pitch to the number 7 batter, Smith, is a called strike. She's 0 for 2 in this contest. Changeup tapped into play. Russo charging. Throw on the run in time for the first out. And Smith kicking herself that a pitch she wanted no part of ended up in play and results in the first out of the inning. Now it's Alexa Douthit. 0 for 2 today with 2 groundouts. First pitch, Kreidler can't squeeze, and it was a close one, but misses the zone. There's life in the UAH dugout as Galehouse pulls the string on that beautiful changeup to even the count. Galehouse comes home. Grounded to the right side. Reynolds stumbles, throws off her back foot, and it's in time. She had to range deep up the middle to her right. Her footing slipped, but still made a strong throw to retire Alexa Douthit.
Great defense here in the top of the 7th.
Kind of a Jordan Love impression thrown off that back foot. Now it's the 9 batter Sladen, who tried bunting for a base hit her last time, but could not succeed. 0-1 the count. Ball in the dirt, 1-1. Sladen singled in the 3rd inning and has shown throughout both games today that her speed kills. Really serving as a second leadoff hitter here in this UAH batting order. Hit hard, but on a hop to Reynolds. She flips over to first, and that'll retire the side. Galehouse pitches a perfect top of the 7th and sets the Spartans up for a walk-off in the 7th. Can they do it? Find out on the SSC Digital Network. Alexa Russo will try and set the table here for the number 10 Tampa Spartans.
I seem to recall a different Russo leading off the bottom of a end of game inning and delivering a leadoff double. I wonder if Russo could deliver the same magic.
As she fouls the first pitch back, of course you're referencing Alexa's cousin on the U-Tampa baseball team, Cole Russo. And that moment came on opening day, Friday, January 31st, in the 9th inning of what would become a 5-4 win over Georgia College. Schertz comes home, line on a hop to the right side. Hayes quickly over to Cartron for the first out. So no late inning magic this time from that member of the Russo family that has such a great baseball tradition here in the city of Tampa, as Leslie Cantor comes out to talk to the home plate umpire.
I have a feeling she's preparing a change eventually, is my thing, because we see Winters ready to go, but it's going to be someone new. Actually, Russo's headed back out.
Yeah, Russo has come back out, helmet in hand, bat resting against her leg as the home plate umpire now goes and talks to the visitors' dugout. The only thing I could think is a possible catcher's interference, but that would not explain the bat in the hand.
Mm-hmm.
And
So you actually might be right. It might have been catcher's interference if we get to reset. Unless they're shuffling the lineup, doing something with the pitching that puts her here or something. I'm just as lost as you are, though.
but catcher's interference would put her on first base, so I don't think it's that. I mean, my mind jumps to maybe batting out of order, but so was it an unannounced re-entry that was the cause?
Maybe.
It completely
That
wipes off that ground out. It's 0-1, now 1-1 with nobody out. So it's like we rewinded time and Alexa Russo never grounded out to second base because a failed vocalization that Cartron re-entered, and Russo puts a charge into it. Slayton going back. She makes the catch over her head for what is now officially the first out. Have you seen anything like that?
I have not seen anything like that, but it does yield the same result either way, out number one. But what a catch, though, by Slayton.
I mean, I feel like the closest thing I can compare it to is like an offensive lineman failing to report as eligible on a touchdown run.
Yeah. Could have been an interesting twist to this game if it really led to something different, but despite the drive from Russo, just enough time for the speedy outfielder to get to it.
Yeah, if there's one person you don't want to hit it to in this outfield, it's definitely Slayton patrolling left field. Called strike on the inside corner, 1-1 count to Kelsey Winters. And Cartron was pinch ran for after she reached base in the sixth. But I think they waited for the right moment to call that out. Two and one count here to Winters. Cut on and missed. A healthy hack, fouled straight back. But I think that's just the savviness that you see from Leslie Cantor. After over 30 years at the helm, she was sitting on that because Tampa went down 1-2-3 in the sixth, never had a chance for a base runner, although kind of interesting that they chose to call that out after a Russo ground out. So if they were going to wait for the right moment, I think they could have waited a little bit longer until they had a base runner. Or at least tried to get a base runner, but actually now I think about it a little bit more as here comes the full count pitch. Fouled out of play. Not as big of a moment in the 6th inning, but knowing that it's a tie game in the 7th, tried to get and steal a leadoff base runner after Russo couldn't reach in her first try. A payoff pitch here from Schertz. Ball 4. Winters reaches. So the winning run on first. And Cantor will make another move here, presumably a pinch runner.
Got a pinch hitter for the Spartans, trying to spark something. Oh, pinch runner.
So it's both.
Both.
I know that's Joey Trawick going out to run at first base, and the freshman DiMartino will sit down in favor for Daisy Watterson. So for Watterson, now coming to play, we saw her make her Spartans debut, the sophomore. She was a pinch runner in game 1. She scored the go-ahead and eventual game-winning run in the bottom of the 6th on a sacrifice fly. So this is now the first at-bat for Watterson, but it's a big spot, and she could be the right person for the job as she has D1 experience. Foul tip into the mitt of Henderson, 0-1. She played in 40 games last year for the Dolphins at Jacksonville University, starting 27. She batted just 200, but drove in 9 runs, as she's now down in the count 0-2. Might have no bigger run driven in her career than if she can bring in Trawick at first. But gonna have to fight here. Way outside, 1-2. This is without a doubt Schertz's best outing of the season. As it's called, strike 3 at the knees. Watterson is frozen and kind of puts her hands up as she runs back to the dugout as if to say, I don't know what I could have done there. A big second out for the Chargers. So the last chance here in the 7th is the number 9 batter, Kenzie Reynolds. 0 for 1 today with a strikeout. First pitch misses low. Schertz, her pitch count has climbed over 90. But in 6 2/3, 3 hits allowed, 1 unearned run allowed, 2 walks given up, and a struck out 4 as Cartran calls time, and that'll draw the infield into the circle for a players only meeting. And she looks at her wristband and trying to go over the signs for the pitches in this at bat. Can't really imagine there's any other defensive situation on here. If Trawick tries to steal a bag to move into scoring position, you tell Henderson to throw her out. Reynolds a right-handed bat. Can't imagine she would cause the defense to do anything other than play straight up, which they are. Cartran slightly in front of the bag, shows bunt, but pulls back for ball 2. Bunt defense has to be ready, but the play shouldn't be anywhere other than first base if Reynolds does lay one down. She skies one in the left field, will be in foul ground, and will go out of play. Sladen was ranging over, maybe could have had a chance, but there already is a good amount of foul ground here at Amoli Family Stadium, and that one easily left the confines. So 2-1 the count now. Schertz comes home. Grounded hard right at the third baseman's outfit on to first. Caught by Cartron. And how else would this game go between the Chargers and Spartans if not for extra innings? Free softball after this break on the SSC Digital Network. The top of the 8th inning for the Chargers and Spartans. When they meet, extra innings is not uncharted territory. The last 2 years, they've met in the NCAA tournament. In the last 2 years, they've had tremendous extra inning battles. Meeting here in the regular season this time, it looks like another one is in store.
Do you think Bracken might be getting ready to warm up? Because she was a pretty key member of one of the big extra inning battles a few seasons ago.
You have to think about it, but Schertz has honestly looked better than Bracken today.
That's kind of crazy to say if you looked at their first few weekends, but that's why they say for football any given Sunday, in this case, any given Thursday.
You know, momentum is tomorrow's starting pitcher, and today it's the next game's starting pitcher. Both still in the game. Galehouse in the circle for her 8th inning of work. Hayes grounds one up the middle, and that's a base hit. She moves to 1 for 4 on the night.
Hayes had 3 ground outs earlier, but this time with the Spartans infield playing a little too far in, her ground ball escapes.
And going into this inning, had to feel like the Chargers had their lane. It's the top of the order that was starting it in extras. Now, interesting to see what Adams will do. All signs pointing to a sacrifice bunt. She squares, gets a piece of it, but fouled.
Yeah, 0 outs, runner on first. 1 run puts you in a great position. It's a smart position to run the sacrifice bunt. And for someone like Adams today who's been a bit cold, it makes even more sense.
Yeah, both teams have clearly shown their desire to play for 1 run. Another bunt attempt, another foul ball. So right now, Adams not able to get the job done.
That's great to get 2 strikes off the 2 sacrifice bunt attempts. And it really puts a risk. If you fail the bunt for a 3rd time, it's an out and nothing is gained.
She shows bunt here, but pulls back, swings away. At least not showing that she was going to swing away. Trying to slap there and takes the ball up and out. 1 and 2. Waves and fights off a good pitcher's pitch to keep it at 1 and 2. Hayes, the runner on first, entered today 1 for 1 on stolen base attempts. Also something to look out for here in the top of the 8th. She runs. Throw down. Fielded by Reynolds, but not handled cleanly. Hayes slides in safely as the batter Adams takes ball 2.
Great jump that time by Hayes. just was able to get moving fast enough where after the changeup, there's just no time to get the ball to second.
And yeah, I think even if Reynolds did field that ball cleanly on a hop, Hayes would have been safe anyway. Now, after missing and failing to get the bunt down the first 2 times and falling 0-2 in the count, Adams has evened it up 3-2. The payoff. Tapped, foul, out of play, and we'll do it all again.
It looks like the Spartans' bullpen is empty, but if this game goes on pretty long, I wouldn't be terribly surprised if they send Winters or one of the other pitchers there to maybe stretch and toss, and if they need to, bring in an emergency.
Tapped into the mitt of Kreidler, but she can't hang on. And this is a lengthy at-bat here from Adams. Close to a 10-pitch at-bat here. Galehouse comes home. Hit the other way. Stopped by a diving DiMartino, but she won't have a play. At the very least, it holds Hayes at second. But 2 on and nobody out for the Chargers. And Cantor calls time. Devin Hammonds comes in from right field.
Yeah, that's because it looks like Yellis is going to be headed back to right field.
Yeah, she tosses the ball to Gwen McGinnis, the Game 1 winner, who pitched 3 innings of relief. She warms up now.
And McGinnis entered 4 strikeouts in 3 innings. However, maybe a little bit worrying trend. The only time she gave up a hit was with a runner in scoring position that brought home 2 earned runs for DeSimone.
And who was that hitter? Jada Henderson up at the dish. So So pitching change for Tampa. There is a pinch runner on first base. It's McCamey Bratcher. Lauren Hayes, the runner at second. First pitch to Jada Henderson, fouled towards the first base dugout. McGinnis earned the win in game 1 of this doubleheader after pitching 3 innings of relief. She did not allow a run. She struck out 4 and walked 1 in that outing while surrendering just 1 hit. The 0-1 here to Henderson. Fastball above the letters, 1-1. Henderson already has 2 runs batted in on this day. That came in game 1 with 1 swing of the bat. As a cutter there, misses wildly. That's McGinnis's pitch, her best pitch. And when she needs it, she will go to it. 2-1 coming here to the 3-hitter. Took a little something off that. The count moves to 3-1. So already her second relief appearance this season after having just 6 all of 2024. The 3-1. Right down the pipe. Count moves full. Swung on and missed. A big strike 3 and first out for Gwen McGinnis and the Spartans. But that'll bring up the hottest bat in the UAH lineup, Maddie Cartron. 2 for 3 today. Reached all 3 times in game 1. Had a pair of doubles in that game. A pair of singles tonight. First pitch cutter misses outside. Cartron thought about it, but the call does not go her way. 1-1 the count now. First baseman Solt playing in front of the bag. Russo even with third. Reynolds off the dirt and on the infield grass as that pitch is fouled straight back. 1-2. The shortstop DiMartino about halfway between second base and the outfield grass.
That's big for McGinnis to get that second strike.
She comes home here. Borderline pitch, misses high. Two count here. It was the cutter. But McGinnis in this outing so far hasn't really been able to locate it. Just about every cutter she's thrown has been well into the left-handed batter's box. But here comes the payoff pitch. Off the fist. McGinnis makes a diving attempt. It's off her glove. Solt fields it, but all the runners will advance.
That was almost a highlight play from McGinnis. A diving catch. It just rolls out of her glove painfully. And the pressure builds.
An all-out effort that caused her mask to fly off. The softball was in the leather of McGinnis' glove on her left hand, but just couldn't hang on. So the bases are loaded for Sadie Thompson with 1 out. First pitch framed beautifully to move the count 0-1. Infield is in. Outfield straight up, probably at a distance where they know they can make a throw home. That offering from McGinnis misses out. And important to note, Mariah Galehouse now in right field with a stronger arm than Devin Hammonds, who started the game. Big cut and miss from Thompson. That's the second strike. It's Fantone in left and Lily Keister in center. The 1-2. Swung on a miss, strike 3. Thompson chased up and out of the zone. And McGinnis 1 out of away from escaping a 2-on and nobody out jam.
That is such an important strikeout for McGinnis. She took advantage of Thompson wanting to be aggressive, wanting to put something in play to be a sacrifice run.
So, Sydney Harris, the batter now. A huge spot. 1-0 the count. Bases are loaded with 2 outs. Here in extra innings. McGinnis comes home. Wave and a miss. 1-1. Hayes is the runner at third. The pinch runner, Brasher, at second. Cartron at first. That pitch misses up and away, 2-1. Harris, 1 for 3 today with an RBI. Borderline pitch misses, 3-1.
And that is a painful one to miss. You know, you're down 2-1 in the count. She was hoping for a chase from Harris, but she keeps the bat on her shoulder.
Has to throw a strike here, and she does. Harris had to have been taken all the way because she's not going to see a better pitch than that. Runners in motion. The payoff. Popped up, but it'll hit the netting And we'll do it again.
These are the best pitches of the game and the ones you dream of as a kid. Bases loaded, 2 outs, full count. And it's not just as a batter, too. You dream of this as the pitcher.
With a chance to put her team ahead is Harris. And with the chance to send her team back to the dugout happy is McGinnis. Carousel in motion, turn the key here. McGinnis comes home. Swung on a miss, strike 3. McGinnis punches out all 3 outs, holds the Chargers scoreless, and they have just not been able to cash in at all today in this game, too. Tampa with another chance to potentially walk it off after this break on the SSC Digital Network. Megan Schertz going to go the distance and then some in the circle now for her 8th inning of work. And just like the Chargers had drawn up in the top of the 8th, it's the top of the order for the Spartans here.
It was great for Tampa to escape bases loaded and 1 out.
First pitch to Lauren Fantone. Misses low and in. This is her 4th time at the plate in this contest. Singled her last time up.
The Spartans' offense is revolved around these 3, so you do like having a chance to win it with them.
A spinner. Comes a little too far inside. The catcher, Henderson, couldn't corral it. But Fantone stood her ground, seemingly willing to do whatever it takes to reach base. A 2-0 pitch here. Misses up and out. 3-0. The Chargers had the bases drunk last inning, but couldn't do anything with it as Gwen McGinnis entered in relief for the 2nd time today and had 3 huge strikeouts to get the Spartans defense out of a jam. Fantone taking all the way there. Looks at strike 1.
That's an important strike for Schertz to get. You don't want to walk the winning run on just 4 pitches.
Swung on and fouled out of play beyond the third base dugout. Count moves full. Lily Keister waits on deck. Payoff pitch. Fouled back to the netting behind home. For Megan Schertz, it's easily her best outing of this young season. Her pitch count seemingly guaranteed to go above 100 in this frame as another 3-2 pitch comes home, and it's another foul ball.
That pitch count is climbing for Schertz. You know, they got the benefit of a rested bullpen, but it's a tough decision if you eventually want to make that call or just let Schertz keep going. And, you know, she still seems fine out there in the circle.
A recent saying I've heard is that every pitcher is dealing until they aren't.
Exactly.
A full count pitch, and yet again another foul ball from Fantone. Schertz's longest outing of the season was on opening day, where she took the loss against Harding. She threw 4 2/3 in that game. Lined up the middle, a base hit. Fantone wins the lengthy battle, and the Spartans have the leadoff batter on in the bottom of the 8th.
That is a crucial single for Fantone to get. Getting on board in this situation is massive. And I imagine the infield's got to be ready. Keister's going to try to get her to scoring position.
Going to do whatever it takes. It was last inning that it was the Chargers' 2 batter, Sadie Thompson, that failed to get the bunt down, but still managed to reach base. That was when Tampa made the change to Gwen McGinnis in the circle, and what turned out to be a great managerial decision by Leslie Cantor.
That's where you look for either the bunt or just to slap it on the ground and give you time to get to second.
Keister will opt for the bunt, but pulls back for ball 1.
Tricky thing for Schertz as well is even though you want to make it so it's an awkward reception for the bat, you can't give too many balls in the at-bat against the bunter because all of a sudden you might find yourself down 2-0 or 3-0.
Schertz comes home again. Another bunt attempt. This time, Keister got contact, but fouled it straight back. Evens the count, 1-1.
That was off speed and just landed behind him.
Schertz, that pitch count now above 100. Pitch 104. Gets down. Fielded by the third baseman, Douthit. Throw on the run. Sails into right field. It's backed up by Adams. Throw into first base. Stops play. Put runners in scoring position. And we'll see how it's scored. But a beautiful bunt. Douthit only had one chance. Had to throw it on the run if she wanted to have any chance of getting Keister out, but airmailed it into right field.
That is such a costly error for the Chargers. You know, there's sometimes when you're a fielder that sometimes you just got to eat the baseball, eat the softball even in this case, and just let them get on board to keep the runners put. A bad throw could have won the Spartans the game if it hadn't been for Adams getting there in time to keep Fantone at third. Because Fantone, she's speedy. She could have made it home from second.
Now the Chargers, between a rock and a hard place here. Logic would tell you walk Galehouse to at least put the force in play, but that means you bring up Abby Solt, who stands on deck.
They aren't walking Galehouse. I think that's the wrong move. You need the force out at home.
They're going to go at Galehouse, and Galehouse swinging away on the first pitch. Waves and misses on a ball on the outside corner. 0-1. Galehouse recorded her first hit of the season in the third. A triple to center field. Popped up on the infield. Hayes under it. She makes the catch for the first out. And that was anything less than big.
It's a sigh of relief, I think, for Alabama Huntsville. But the sacrifice opportunity for a walk-off is still in play.
We'll see what the Chargers decide to do about Solt. Has not reached in this game as the first pitch is fouled back, but they know what she is capable of. In the first game of this doubleheader, hit the Spartans' first home run of the season. A 3-run shot. A no-doubter to left field. Schertz comes home with an 0-1. Line into center field. It's caught on a dive. Tag is Fantone. She will score, and the game is over. Abby Solt plays hero with a walk-off sac fly here in the bottom of the 8th. Nothing that the center fielder Thompson could do. She had to catch it, otherwise let it drop for a base hit, and Fantone would have scored either way. So, despite a close battle for all 15 innings played today, Tampa secures the sweep of a very tough Alabama-Huntsville team.
Always an entertaining game between the Spartans and Chargers. A sayonara sacrifice to win it. You know, all Solt needed to do was just hit that ball hard. She did just that. Good catch by Thompson. In any other situation, that's a very good play. Unfortunately, there's nothing you can do. The winning run's coming home no matter what.
And smart by Fantone to not get caught up in the moment, thinking that possibly it could have been a base hit. Just stayed on the bag no matter what, made sure she tagged up and scored that winning run. So the Spartans move to 4-0 on the season, while Alabama Huntsville drops to 3-4. For the Spartans, they'll continue a stretch of 6 games in 3 days tomorrow when they take on West Alabama. As for the Chargers, this starts a bit of a Sunshine State Conference tour for them. As tomorrow, they have a doubleheader in St. Leo against the Lions, and on Saturday have a doubleheader against Florida Southern. For Shane Patagna and my partner Taylor Stolworthy, with Raj running the show, have a great night, and this was Tampa Spartans Softball on the SSC Digital Network.